Rick, also known as Duke City Devil Dog. I am halfway between Kingman, Arizona and Needles, California, on I-40 going west. We are headed to Carson, California. It is 6:53 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, Pacific Daylight Time, same time there. It's 88 degrees in Needles right now. It's not even 7 o'clock and it's 88 degrees, so it's going to be a hot one in Needles today. Anyway, we're running to Carson, California. We got a load. If you've been following, we got repowered off in near Flagstaff in Belmont. We got repowered off our load that was going to Ohio. There was no way we were going to make that load on time. It was 2,000 miles in a little over 2 days. So we got repowered off, gave it to a trainer and their student so they can run it out there to Ohio. We are in a little bit of a time crunch here today, trying to find out whether or not we could run this straight to Carson. If we can, because it's supposed to be a drop and hook. If we can run it straight there, then that's going to be the plan, and then we'll be able to get someplace and get shut down. If not, we're gonna have to figure out something, because I am really short on my 70-hour clock right now. I mean, extremely short on my 70-hour clock. By the time I got shut down yesterday, I had about 5 hours and 40 minutes left. By the time I got 6 hours and 40 minutes back this morning at midnight, so that gave me 12 hours and 20 minutes roughly, which to run about 500 miles is doable. The problem is that going into Southern California is not predictable. You can't really predict what's going to happen there. So that said, we run into some traffic or something, especially when this load is originally due. That's at 8:30 tonight or 20:30. We can run into some traffic and get stuck somewhere, and we're not going to violate our DOT clock. So they're trying to find out whether I can deliver this early. Normally down here, you can't deliver it more than 30 minutes early, even if it's a drop and hook. But if they'll let me deliver it early, then that's going to be the plan, and I'll run it straight in right now, and I should be able to get back to where I need to be. If not, it's going to be a rough one, so we're going to figure it out. Waiting for a phone call back from dispatch. They're checking on it right now. That said, we're probably going to do a 34 afterwards. We do get 11 hours back tomorrow, but that's not a lot that they're going to be able to give us. So I think we're going to do a 34 and try to get a full clock back so we can have some options. If not, we're just going to be doing these little runs, and I don't want to just be doing these little runs. I want something substantial when we're running, at least halfway across the country. But we'll see from here. Anyway, it is a beautiful day in the high desert. We're heading towards the Mojave Desert here, and it should be a beautiful day, whichever way it goes. It should be a beautiful day. So we'll touch base with you as we go and figure it out from there. As soon as I find out what the plan is, I'll share it with you. I'll talk to you in a few. Okay, everybody, we are in Southern California. We just crossed the border. We're now at 55 miles an hour for all trucks with more than three or more axles, plus anything towing something. That's what the speed limit is. We're coming upon it's the agricultural inspection station. Everybody's got to stop by. They're usually, if you're in a POV like a car, like here, they're going to ask you if you have any fruit or plants or anything like that. Here, what they're going to ask to do is to see your bills, to see what you're carrying, and to get an idea about that. so that they know. Normally they just look really quick to see what your manifest says. If it's any kind of fruit or vegetable, they may not let you enter. It just depends on what it is. They'll give you a little bit more scrutiny. If it's like what we're carrying, which is, I believe, yogurt or something like that, they'll probably just wave us through once they look at my bills and see where it's coming from. So, but you do have to stop every time here. There's no way to get around it. Whether it's here or whether it's coming in from the north, if you're coming along I-80 or I-70 into the state, you're gonna see one of these. Used to always remember going through these when I was a kid, coming out here, hurrying up and eating whatever fruit you had, because if you had fruit at that time, if you tried to bring it in, they'd make you throw it away, and they're afraid of certain pests or parasites or whatever getting brought into the state. You see the same thing with boating inspections, depending on where you go to. You'll see that where they're looking to, like when you go into Wyoming up north and that you'll see the stops. Same thing I think in Nevada, where they stop, and if you're towing a boat, they're going to inspect the boat to see what to make sure there's not a certain kind of, I don't know if it's a barnacle or whatever, but it's something that if it gets into the waters up there, it can really damage the fish, the aquatic life, the fish there. It can just devastate it. So same kind of thing. So just stay with me here. We're going to go through this. Try to stay cool. Have a good one. Anyway, so that's all there is to it. I always try to be nice, tell them thank you or like that. Try to be cool, stay cool, because like I said, it's almost 90 degrees out here. Actually, it is 90 degrees out here, and it's 7:17 in the morning, so it is going to be a hot one, so hopefully she stays cool and hydrated. Anyway, but that's what that's all about. That's what it's really quick. You have your bills out. Mark, my trainer, he told me, he said a lot of times if you have your bills out and you show them right, they'll just wave you through because they know that you're ready and everything like that. So just if you're driving a truck and you're coming into California, make sure you have your bills where you can reach them and you can have them ready to show when you come into the state. All right, our next stop should be at the brake check at the top of Cajon Pass. So we'll talk to you a little bit. Hey everybody, it is almost 11 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. We are in Hesperia, California. Population 94,000 according to Wikipedia. Between Victorville and Hesperia, there's almost 250,000 people. I guess if you add in Apple Valley, you probably have more than 250,000 people. We're almost at the top of Cajon Pass. We got a brake check coming up. We're gonna pull in here and do our brake check before we head down Cajon Pass. We got 77 miles to our delivery. We did find out that we are able to drop this early, so we're gonna run straight into there get it dropped, hopefully pick up an empty that they'll have waiting for us, and then run to Ontario to get shut down. I do intend on taking a 34-hour reset. I'm going to be almost out of hours by the time we're done here, and and I'll get 11 hours back tomorrow, but I don't want to be running on recaps trying to get out of Southern California, because that's not the best way to get out of Southern California, is not to have a lot of time. What ends up happening is you end up doing exactly what we're doing now, is picking up something, running it a little ways, and then turning around and running you straight back the other direction. So anyway, we're going to come over here and shut down, or not shut down, but we're at least going to come over here and stop. Brake check up here. And we'll be back with you in a minute. Okay, everybody, we are at the top of Cajon Summit. It's going to head down towards San Bernardino, Riverside, that area. We are at 3,776 feet. So we're going to drop quite a bit. We're going to take this nice and in control. We're going to see if we can get down there. As always, our goal is to get down the hill without using our service brakes. If you're not sure what the service brakes are, that means that's the brake on the floor there. We're going to try not to do that, not to hit that. We're going to try to control this using being in the right gear and using our jake brake. So now, one of the reasons I always stop at rest areas is, at brake check areas, is because I want to start down this hill in the right gear and at the right speed. And stopping at that allows me to do that. So we went down this hill about a week ago, but it was really stopped. So really, we didn't do this the way that I wanted to show. We have a 6% grade here. That's pretty steep, the 6% grade. We're going to try to, like I said, being in control is the biggest thing. Okay, if you're in control of your speed, you don't lose it. I mean, you just you control it. And when you hear that ding, okay, when you hear that ding, all that's telling you is that I have the transmission locked in the manual, so that if it needs to shift, I'm going to shift it. Okay? Now, you got guys going down this hill pretty fast. The guy that just passed me, right? But I don't know if you also noticed, there is a speed limit for trucks going down this hill. And if you're going too fast, you can get stopped. It's 45 miles an hour. So if you're doing that, that's going to be, you're going to have to deal with it. Now, here's the thing. This is going to flatten out here in a minute. It's going to still be going downhill, but it's going to flatten out somewhat. So, once it flattens out, that's going to be when if I need to adjust my speed or adjust my gear for the next part of the hill, that's when I'm going to do it. You can see it's flattening out just here. Right past this runaway ramp, it flattens out. This guy in front of me right here, he is causing me to slow down a little bit, but that's okay. I don't mind. He's taking his time down this hill. So are we. So we're going to go down this hill. Yeah, I don't mind. All these other people who want to get down faster, that's up to them. That's what, I mean, I want to say it's what they feel comfortable with, but again, there is a speed limit. You see right here, truck speed limit 45, radar enforced. That's telling me that I mean, they try to keep you under control, because if you lose control, devastating. Another thing that they do here in Cajon Pass, which doesn't make a bit of sense, but you will see it in other places, but not as much here as in Cajon, not as much other places you do here in Cajon. They actually put a weigh station in the middle of this downgrade, so you've got to be under control. You've got to be. Now, the other thing, I don't know if I posted one time. I know that I videotaped it, but I think I taped it, but or recorded it. I still want to say videotape, right? Is when this is wet here. This is wet, you can't use your jake brake. You can really lose control. So we're gonna let this guy get ahead of us. Luckily the scale's closed down here, so I don't need to worry about it. But I'm gonna let everybody else take the chance. See what happens though, I mean, you can believe that, going a little fast or whatever, I mean, it's not a big deal, but it just depends on on what kind of risk you want to take. I mean, if the police pull you over, yeah, you're gonna pay a certain fine, right? You're gonna pay a fine, right? You're gonna get points on your CDL, right? You're gonna get those two things. But the other thing is, a lot of times when they pull you over like that, then they do a level 1 inspection on you, which even if your truck's if you've done all your inspections and everything's in great shape, those take a lot of time, and as you know, following my channel and any other truck driver's channel, time is so important. Right now we're dealing with I don't want to say a time crunch, because we're not under a big time crunch.
You have 3 hours and 5 minutes of remaining drive time.
So we got 3 hours and 5 minutes. We got 71 miles to our stop, which is about an hour and 20 minutes, give or take, if everything's fine going down here and all the way in there. Then we got to make the drop, get out of there, and turn around and get to a place we can shut down, which is probably going to be Ontario, California, which is about 51 miles from Carson, from where we're delivering this to. So getting stopped and having to deal with that would just add, a headache to things. And then if for some reason, now that said, I mean, your truck should be in great shape, but if for some reason they find something, or they can put you out of service, and then you're stuck, having to deal with more of that. So, you have to be careful, the risks that you take as far as speeding, or any kind of violation kind of stuff, lane violations, that kind of stuff, where it says trucks right lane only, or right 2 lanes, and you violate that, or when you're supposed to go into a scale, like either you don't get a bypass and the scale's open, or you get told to go into the scale and you don't, and you get stopped and you get cited for bypassing the scale. Then you end up then you can end up in trouble that way too. And I know a lot of these truck drivers, they try to blow by open scales. I mean, they just do. If they can get away with it, they do. There was a truck driver talking about it a little while ago when we stopped at a rest area to use the facilities. He was talking about blowing past scales, and hoping he wasn't going to get caught. Well, it's possible you're not going to get caught, right? It is possible, but if you do, then you're back to having to deal with that. And I'll tell you, you blow through a scale, there's a good chance you're going to get a level 1 or level 2 inspection. And again, even if your truck is in immaculate shape and your logs are in immaculate shape, it's going to take time. But we take our time going down this hill. We're basically about 11 minutes into this downhill. We still have more to go. But there are some steep areas and some not so steep. But so far I've had to tap my brakes once, and that was when that gentleman in front of me was with the flashers on and slowed down a lot. So I tapped the brakes there, and other than that, we've made it pretty well going down this hill. Once we get to this I-15 truck bypass that's coming up in about a mile, we're at the we're done with the pass technically, and
in 1.5 miles,
we'll go from
keep
there.
right to I-15 south, then keep right.
little bit, but I was able to do that. No problem. So that's the bottom of Cone Pass right
Keep
here.
right to I-15 south, then keep right.
So anyway, that's how you get down a pass, and that's how you do it. I don't see any need to fly down these things. I mean, we see people do it. Truck drivers do it all the time. And I always say this, and you know, you can fly down these passes and make it, but it only takes one time where you lose control or
Keep
something
right
goes
to
wrong
I-15 south.
and you can't control it, and somebody's going to end up getting killed or at least hurt extremely badly. So anyway, we're down here. We'll talk to you in a little while. Well, everybody, we made it to our drop. Luckily, it was a drop and hook. We picked up an empty here, and we are headed to Ontario, California, the Petro over there. We're going to see if we can park there. I've only tried to park at the Petro one time. Usually we go to TA, but we're going to try the Petro. Last time I tried to park there, it was so crowded and there was just no place to park. And it's a little more difficult to park in it, but we're going to try. And if not, then we'll go across and we'll go park in TA. And we're going to do a 34, so I do want to find a good parking place. Let's see. We are in... right here where Carson, California meets Dominguez Hills. In fact, our drop was right across the street from Cal State University, Dominguez Hills. So anyway, we are going to, like I said, we got 2 hours and 33 minutes to get 50 miles. Hopefully, that is not going to be an issue for us. There was a little bit of traffic, a little bit of issues here.
Turn right at the traffic light.
That's what we're
then
going to
take
do.
the ramp on the left.
Then we're going to go try to enjoy our 34. We've been running pretty hard the last few days.
Take the ramp on the left to California 91 East.
And maybe go get some wings tonight or something like that. Anyway, all right, everybody. We will see you when we get set for the night.